We all know there's going to be a lot of changes coming to the Eagles this offseason. Coaching and players, personnel. But this offseason is going to be a difficult one. Question is it harder than the 2023 offseason? We're going to discuss this. Discuss the difference between that offseason and this offseason. Two disappointing season endings. Bo Bichette's not in a Phillies uniform yet. Why? Sixers win last night. Trending in the AM. Taking your thoughts and opinions. This Tuesday morning, we're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter, you know the drill. Wherever you're watching, whether it's live or on replay, do me that favor. Hit the like button on your screen, wherever it is. Hit the share button on your screen, whichever platform you want to share this out, and make sure you are subscribed to the STT Sports Network. It is free to hit those buttons on your screen. It is free to show support to this small channel as we are inching closer every day to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So like, share, subscribe. And if you're watching live on YouTube, we have a poll question rolling for the day. The poll question today is, are the Eagles in a better or worse spot entering the offseason than 2023? I think it's a really interesting question. I'm also rolling this poll question out on Twitter as well. And it's got interesting comments, interesting votes. So make sure you guys get in. But first, let's like, share, subscribe. I am Phil Stiefel. Obviously, lots of changes are on the horizon for our Philadelphia Eagles, obviously. And there's lots that is going to happen over the next 24, 48 hours. The inevitable Kevin Patullo firing will happen. But there's a very long offseason in front of Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, and company to get this team back to where they expect to be, which is contending for a Super Bowl. And we were in this same exact spot after the 2023 season ended. And somebody yesterday on the show posed the question, I forget who it was, is this year's offseason going to be more difficult than 23's? And I thought it was interesting. Because on paper, it sounds like this year's offseason is so simple. Replace the OC, bring back who you can, and piece it together. And with the stars we have, we'll just be fine. 2023, you're replacing two coordinators. You're keeping Vic Fangio this year. But I'd argue to say that there's a potential that we're in even a tougher spot due to the salary cap, due to how many free agents, due to extensions that need to be made, due to the tough decisions that Howie has got in front of him outside just the coordinator position. So I think it's interesting. Let's get right to the comments here. Duck says, I put better spot ahead of knowing if Patullo is released or who the new OC might be because I'm hopeful. I mean, it is pretty much the big part of it right there. Who's the OC? So I saw a Spot Trek podcast, broke down what would happen with AJ Dead Cap. He is not going anywhere, more than likely because of that cost post-June 1st. Look, I know it would be a huge dead cap hit. I'm not saying that he's going. I'm not saying I want him to go. But what I'm saying is they won't be afraid of a little dead cap hit to trade a player as long as they get the right return. Remember, we traded Carson Wentz for a first-round pick and took on, at the time, the biggest dead cap hit in the history of the NFL. And we still built a team that went to the playoffs. So don't forget that this is nothing new for Howie Roseman. AJ will more than likely stay in Philly until the end. I still think AJ wants to be here. I still think Jalen Hurts wants him to be here. I think the Eagles locker room wants him to be here. I think they need to figure his personality out. I think they got to figure out the offense out, but I still think he wants to be here. Maybe we've pissed him off. Maybe the reporters have. What's up, Josh Allen? What's up, Robert? Yes, 30 away from 1,000. Come on. These last 100, 120 have been brutal. Getting to 900 and getting past this is taking forever. Good morning, Kevin. How you doing? So Denver had week off, and Bills have to play and then shorten week. Yeah, the playoff schedule does suck from time to time. The game sucked last night. Didn't watch it at all. Binge watched the show on Netflix with the wife. Today is walkthrough. Yeah, I'm not really breaking down the Bills right now and their weekly stuff. Yeah, look, seeing that Rodgers lost, seeing him complain or have to defend his coach, yeah, I love it. Eagles had 30th ranked defense after 2023 and a ton of holes. Absolutely, Yas. Absolutely. And they had to replace the DC along with the OC, right? But they had money. A lot more money. They had a lot more players on young contracts. Right? They hit on their draft picks in 22 and 23. You can't lean on Jihad Campbell and Drew Nakobe for sure. I think it's interesting. Good morning, Rick. What's up? Hope everyone got us stands out of the cracks. We were a cranky bunch yesterday. Understandably so, though, right? But the sun shines again and great days are ahead. The power of positivity is back. Denial is what's going to bite this team on the rear end. Denial, you would say, because of Nick Sirianni. And maybe it will be. Maybe it will be, but I highly doubt it. Aaron Rodgers got smoked last night. Good for him. Good for you. Good for him. It was a big cap hit after Wentz trade, and look how that turned out. Exactly. That's what I keep going back to, Rick. I'm almost positive it was the biggest dead cap hit in the history of the NFL at that time. All right? So it can be done. It can be. I think more people want AJ gone. Dude is batshit crazy. I think the players like him. You listen to, and I listen to a whole bunch of the players talking to the media as they were cleaning out their locker room. You hear Cooper Dejean, Nakobe Dean, Quinion Mitchell, Jalen Hurts, all talk so highly of A.J. Brown. They voted him a captain. They probably wouldn't again next year, but they did. I don't think. I think the A.J. Brown hate that we have or frustration that we have is warranted, but I don't think the team has said we don't want him there. Denial about the head coach being a clown. Denial about the OC being a puppet. Denial about the quarterback not being elite. Look, I do think he's elite. Look, the OC is going to go. He is going to be the puppet. And maybe the head coach is wrong, or is a problem. Maybe I'm wrong with that elephant in the room. Maybe I am. But you know what? I will live in denial for one more year on that conversation. I'll fall on the sword for him if I have to. He's done plenty in the last 5 years to get the benefit of the doubt. They might be better off bringing back Johnson from 23. Look, they were the 8th ranked offense in 2023. Don't forget that. Good morning, RW. How you doing? Any updates? No, John Heyman had a very loose, meh kind of comment saying that it went well for what it's worth. Like a very general report on it. So we know nothing about Bo Bichette at all. No leaks whatsoever. His and hers, or him and hers, the dude that played the Punisher and Shane in The Walking Dead. It was a good show. 6-episode miniseries. It was all right. It was good, and then the ending was just stupid. Only Howie can navigate this offseason. You got a D that needs upgrades. Bills coming due. Exactly. Makes it very difficult. At this point, this team is better off without AJ. It might be. It might not be. Time will tell. I saw where no one has any interest in JT. It's crazy that JT Realmuto is still a free agent in baseball. It really is. I believe the report that coaches can't do everything with Hurts. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you believe LaShawn McCoy's comments that you got to run a simplistic offense. Pretty sure that's inaccurate. I'm pretty sure you have to run an offense tailor-suited to your quarterback, and his skill set is the basis and the fundamental of everything. Okay? Isn't it? Saying that you got to run a simplistic offense like LeSean McCoy does for Jalen Hurts. You run a certain offense for Josh Allen. You run a certain offense for Joe Burrow. You run a certain offense for Daniel Jones. You run a certain offense for Trey Lance. You run a certain offense for Nathan Peterman. Okay? It's knowing that offense, knowing that skill set, and calling the right plays that work for him. Frank Reich on line one, please. Yeah, I mean, Frank Reich on line one sounds like the right move at this point. Now, I will say, I do not want the Eagles waiting. They need to make their decision on Kevin Patullo right now. Not wait till next week. You got 8 job openings in the NFL. Those head coaches are going to be signed. You might be able to squeeze one of those head coaching candidates to stay as an OC. Once those head coaching openings start to fill, they're going to fill their coaching staff, limiting the pool. Get your guy right now. If you're going to move on from KP, do it now. Get your guy signed this week. It is it's inevitable that these guys are going to get swooped up. You've got to get the guy now. Make your decision now. No waiting. No wasting time. That's because I don't believe AJ's problem is the team. Sure, AJ loves playing with his teammates. He's a head coach and OC he can't stand. And since Nick is staying, someone's got to go. Look, and I get that. And if AJ goes, it will be because of somebody in the organization like a Nick Sirianni says so. Now, look, Nick Sirianni's saying the right thing that he has a great relationship with him. We don't know. We only see the body language and the cryptic tweets and whatnot, right? Now, if A.J. Brown, or if Jalen Hurts stands up for A.J. Brown, maybe you can't get rid of him. But if Jalen Hurts doesn't really, he just doesn't have the media, then we'll see. A.J. is fine. He was telling us about Patullo all season without saying it outright. It might help with a new experienced OC. I think a new OC will come in here, find a way to mend the fences, and all will be fine. I do. Eagles will be back in the playoffs next year, so stop complaining. The Eagles will absolutely be back. Right? On paper, even if they lose half their free agents, they're still a talented, deep team in a division that they control. Right? But there's still a lot of work to do this offseason. The only problem, if we keep Hurts one more year, then we lose Hurts and McKee, and Eagles have major decision to make at quarterback. I'm not worried about losing Hurts next year. Jalen Hurts is your quarterback, okay? He's your team's quarterback for the next 3 to 5 to 7 years, all right? Jalen Hurts ain't going nowhere. Remember that, okay? Blank got to go. Blank's probably going to go, absolutely. The Lightning seem to be the Flyers' kryptonite. Oh, the Lightning, sorry. Talking football here, and all of a sudden there's a random hockey comment inserted in. Yeah, the Flyers lost last night. Didn't watch it. Sorry. I try. I'm giving the Flyers some love from time to time, but wasn't last night. Hurts and Allen need to run or get them out of, yeah, exactly. If Joel Embiid keeps playing the way he does, I mean, look at the difference in the last 2 games with and without Joel Embiid. Not just the result. Just think about that. We're getting glimpses of the old Embiid. And it looks damn good, doesn't it? It really does. I think we were putting too much on AJ. All he did was tell the truth. Yeah, look, my problem, I have no problem, Kevin, no problem whatsoever with AJ Brown's cryptic tweets. I have no problem with AJ Brown, speaking his mind. I have a bigger problem with him not speaking his mind at the end. Because my biggest problem with AJ Brown is the drop balls. My problem with AJ Brown is him not running plays out. My problem with AJ Brown is when he uses his play and performance on the field to send a message. And that affects the outcome of a game. That's my problem with A.J. Brown. Do you believe Hurts has trouble running an intricate offense and needs to be dumbed down? I don't think anything has to be dumbed down for him. Obviously, Jalen Hurts, like every quarterback in the NFL, has certain things he does well and certain things he doesn't. Okay? Why would you run an offense? This is the same thing we went through with Donovan. Donovan should have not been forced to run a West Coast offense, right? You can't tell Jalen Hurts to run one offense when he needs to run offense too. You cater your offense to your elite quarterback, to your, not elite, franchise quarterback was the word I'm saying. It makes no sense to try and make a quarterback something they're not when what they are has won you a Super Bowl. That's what I have a problem with here. The least few weeks the Sixers will be the legit contenders. Look, the Sixers are. The trade deadline for the NBA is 3 weeks from tomorrow. The season is almost at the halfway point. The Sixers are legit playoff contenders. How far they can go, it'll depend on matchups. I don't like a Magic matchup in the first round. But they absolutely are legit. Jalen Phillips was nice. He might go. He didn't sound as confident yesterday leaving the locker room as he did a couple of weeks ago. Reich would be like Fangio, happy and content to just be a coordinator. Yes and no. Is he content just being a coordinator? For sure. I mean, he did take over as head coach at Stanford this past year on an interim basis. Would he want to be? Did he get a taste of the head coaching ranks again? I don't know. I'd have to listen to him talk. But in theory, Frank Reich would be that guy. The Eagles would absolutely not get a first-round pick for A.J. Brown. Not at this point. And I think people have to get that through their head. He is not going to get that with his age, with his drop-off, with his injuries. Everything in his career, his attitude or perceived attitude, you're not getting a first-round pick for A.J. Brown. Exactly. There has to be an old head with a young buck that could be had and won't get looked into. Yeah. Look, Frank Reich is probably the right choice. Yeah, I mean, you're like my 10-year-old nephew, just randomly throwing trades at the wall to see if they stick. What would be the point of that? What would be the point of that trade? I'm just curious. To blame just the coach is insane. I think it is too. I've said it all along this year. Execution has been a major problem. Injuries has been a major problem. Execution from the players has been an issue. Now, I think sometimes when your team lacks execution, you have to look at the coaches in that situation. But yeah, it's everybody's fault. Do you re-sign Uche or Dean? I don't know. Uche, I mean, who cares, right? Dean, it's a tough call. Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond, John Campbell. I don't know how you make that work. I don't. I would like to see him. He said yesterday he wants to stay. He made it known to Howie Roseman he wants to stay. And Howie Roseman told him, he said, that he knows the importance that Dean brings to the Eagles defense. So from Nakobe Dean's little comment there, maybe there's a chance Nakobe Dean stays. Good morning, Chuck. How you doing? Rip the Band-Aid off immediately. AJ is being scapegoated by the Eagles PR hit squad. All right, so we got another AJ Brown support comment here. Is he the scapegoat? Is AJ Brown being scapegoated for dropping passes, for not running out routes? I don't know. Look, I see all of AJ Brown's flaws. I still want AJ Brown to be on the Eagles. Replacing AJ Brown's level of production is a lot harder than people realize. I don't think Nick and AJ's relationship is actually damaged much. I don't think so either. I don't. Now, I will say, the players say the right thing about Kevin Patullo an awful lot. But for some reason, I don't believe it. You ain't winning nothing if Hurts don't run. Well, we got to get an offensive coordinator here that'll get him back to that. Sirianni set Patullo up to get clipped. Super Bowl aspiring teams shouldn't have first-time play callers. Absolutely. I don't know if he set him up. Is it Nick Sirianni's fault for putting Kevin Patullo in a position to fail? Is that friendship going to end because Patullo got effed by his boy? I don't know. But no, Super Bowl aspiring teams should not have first-time play callers. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And we said that in the offseason when the hire was made. It is? I'm way far behind on comments. I wish people would move on from Bo Bichette. It's due diligence on his part, and the Phillies are trying to get JT's attention. Look, I went through it all the different lineup configurations. You lose JT and Bohm and insert Bo Bichette. The Phillies aren't as great as people think. They'll be very good at the top. He'll fix the top of the lineup, but the bottom of the lineup would be even worse than it was before. So I don't know. I would love Bo Bichette, obviously. I would love Bo Bichette and JT Realmuto. I just don't think they're both realistic. Shady comment about Hurts not being able to handle a complex offense. I know. I've heard it. I've listened to it. I've commented on it. Is it that he can't handle a complex offense, or he can't handle what Shady McCoy wants the Eagles' offense to be? As long as it's executed, it doesn't matter whether it's complex, simplistic, or in the middle. You call the offensive game plan that suits your best player, your quarterback. What's up, Bruce? Good morning to you. Hope you're well. 76ers are legit. They absolutely are. I feel you were right about Bo Bichette. Is he better than Bregman? And Bregman is the Cubs now anyway. Yeah. Bregman did sign with the Cubs. Drop balls, blown coverages, missed kicks, fumbles, ton of penalties, poor passes. Not the coach's fault. Absolutely agree. Absolutely. Now, again, execution, focus, so that you can execute. That does go back to coaching a little bit. But I absolutely agree. All this. And you did not put injuries even in your list here. Guys, lots of people watching, lots of people comment. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel, and please share this out. It helps grow the algorithm, helps grow this channel, helps me continue to do this show every day. Yesterday was the second highest viewed trending in the AM. Only the second time live in the morning. We crossed the 300 viewer barrier. So we only do that by you guys hitting that like button, that subscribe button, share button. And don't forget to vote on the poll question, which right now is sitting at an exact 50-50 right now, 20 votes in. Bo Bichette was the good looking people on Tinder. Nobody more, nothing. Wow. Doesn't it yell of an unprepared? Execution is unpreparedness. I think it goes hand in hand. In the end, it's all Howie's fault. Howie didn't have his best offseason. Giving contracts out, one-year deals to the wrong guys this time. Bo Bichette and the Phils. Exactly. Meet the new McNabb, same as the old McNabb. Biggest difference is Hurts got a Lombardi. Look, and there's nothing wrong with Hurts being McNabb, okay? In the sense where if you give him an offensive game plan that fits his skill set, he wins a Super Bowl for you. If you force him to do things that he's incapable of doing, if you tried to make Tom Brady run 20 times a game, he was going to fail as a quarterback. I'm going to go to an epic rant. The Phillies give JT 3 years of or a salary above 16. Also, some rant if they bring back Bader on a multi-year deal. Good or bad rants is the question. Eagles' biggest needs are O-line, edge, slot, literally the whole team. Yeah, exactly. If Oubre wasn't in last night, that game gets back to a 5-point margin. Got to get his legs back under him, but obviously Kelly Oubre is a huge part of this Sixers roster. It's great to have him back out there. The Sixers trending in the right direction, 1,000% as this team is healthy for the first time in 2 years. Eagles are in a worse spot than 2023, according to Freddie. Discontent receiver. They have to dump to a tune of a dead cap hit. In addition to replacing him, you got guys you got to pay. But in Howie, we trust. See, I think that is definitely a clear side of the equation. The other side of the equation right there. That there's tougher decisions There might have been more work to do in 2023, but the tougher decisions in 2025. Getting a Lombardi is a huge difference. It's a major, major difference. This is a peewee football. These are grown men. There are certain things you don't have to remind them every time they play. Yeah, I mean, in theory, that's a great comment. But in reality, we live in 2025, not in 1994 anymore, right? Okay? I mean, this is not 1989, me being cussed at and the F-bomb being dropped in my little league dugout, and we were okay with it. Best to hope is a third rounder for AJ. Yeah, I was thinking a third, high third, low second. Right now, that is all you're getting for him. Okay? The biggest issue is 100% Hurts not running. Well, we'll see if we fix that. AJ, the modern TO? I don't know. Because TO is on a different stratosphere of wide receiver level skill set. This is not a knock on AJ Brown. TO is arguably one of the 3 or 4 greatest wide receivers of all time. AJ Brown's not close to that. Total team effort on this season, good or bad. But one thing is, whatever coaches were selling, not everyone was buying. That's absolutely correct, Big Al. There was a disconnect all over the place this year, right? All over the place disconnect. Dean, way more important than Uche. Obviously, yeah, obviously. Phillips might not be here because he did more than enough to his defense to get paid and paid well. Absolutely. I said it. I hinted at it a while ago. But there's an argument to be made. You got Phillips as a free agent. You got Nolan Smith due for an extension, and you got Jalen Hunt emerging. There's an argument to be made that maybe you try to trade Nolan Smith and have Phillips, and so you can retain Phillips and have Phillips and Hunt as your top 2 guys. Just saying, there might be an argument to be made there. If you're a true football strategist, the crosshairs are on Cam Jurgens first and foremost. If his Nebraska injuries are back, then C is another second-round priority. If it can be fixed. Look, they're not going to replace Cam Jurgens this year, unfortunately. They might. They probably should consider it, but they probably won't. This upcoming year will be a prove-it year for a lot of people and coaches, players and coaches on this team. But yeah, Jurgens is obviously such a massive issue and question mark. AJ is only 28. They're not very good team. I think they would give you a first. I don't know. Nick screamed at AJ because he knew AJ was dropping passes intentionally. Dude's the team killer. Get the sickness out of here. It is 100% Sirianni's fault that Patullo is the OC. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And Nick Sirianni's got to face the criticism for that. 100%. Obviously. And we can't let him pick the guy that replaces Kevin Patullo. Obviously. We know all that. I'm not firing Nick Sirianni over it, though. AJ problem is the same with the entire offensive execution. Maybe a new offensive coordinator fixes all that. I would listen to Shady. Why would he make that up? Because Shady just likes to hear his own voice. JT might not have a choice. Shady McCoy is the guy that said he would take his name out of the Eagles Wall of Fame if something happened. I forget what it was. He just likes to stir up drama. Okay? JT might not have a choice but to take what the Phillies are offering. Hey, the Phillies might drop their offer if he doesn't accept it soon. That is not why he yelled at AJ. He just wanted him off the field. Yeah. That's what they're claiming, Kevin. But I understand what Rick, because I believe there is more to it than just that. I really do. That Eagles kid was speaking facts. Who? What? That hubris on Nick's part should get him fired, among other things. Nick's a fraud. Look, I get it. There is still plenty of Nick Sirianni hate going on, and I feel it. I don't believe in it. I have confidence in my guy. I don't think the grass would be greener on the other side if you moved on from Nick Sirianni. But you are rightfully justified in feeling this way about Nick Sirianni after the way this team collapsed this year and the reasons why it did. Okay? Bichette would be a great signing. Hopefully, it would also mean getting rid of Bummy Stott. It would probably mean Bone, but yes. I did read an interesting article by a beat reporter saying if you don't want to get rid of Bohm, you'd have to get rid of Stott and Sosa to equal the savings of getting rid of Bohm. So I don't know. That sounds like a minority crime. Shady just pulled on Hurts. Yeah. Part of it's Jalen's preference not to run as much. Jalen denied that, but I don't know. I don't believe anything I've heard anybody say this year. Kevin, that's what Sirianni fed to the media to cover for AJ. Yes, that's what I honestly believe that. I do. Duck, you think Shady is racist? I'm not saying that. Patullo put obvious plays out there that my non-football wife knew exactly what was being called. Yeah, it's pretty easy. 16 likes, not good enough. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, please. Thanks for the update there, Robert. These plays are putting wide receiver in positions to be open for a quarterback to throw. In reality, we won that Super Bowl because our defense, not Hurts. I mean, Jalen Hurts still had. I know you'll say the defense should have gotten the MVP. I know you'll say Josh Sweat should have gotten the MVP. Jalen Hurts still played like an MVP and put up huge numbers in the Super Bowl, okay? We didn't win the Super Bowl solely because of the defense, all right? The whole team literally only listed three needs. Half the team, basically. That is just speculation. We can only go by what Nick says until we're on the field. And that's true. Speculation is different than what, is real. I get that. That's a fair point, Kevin. They want a good rant, get Castellanos and Walker the F out of here. Yeah, look, Castellanos will be gone. Taiwan Walker might be starting games the first month of the season. The salary cap is a thing Howie is definitely going to find out. Yeah. Have fun not being able to spend $43 million. We only can go by what Nick says, and Nick's had to cover for AJ before. Dude is the bad apple of the bunch. The defense succumbed Sunday to need to carry the team all season. Must get Fangio back. Look, Vic Fangio was a great defensive coordinator, right? Vic Fangio isn't going anywhere. Vic Fangio's defense was tired all year. But Vic Fangio is not clear from criticism either, in my opinion. The defensive run defense was bad this year. They gave up big plays in that game, all game long. You know what I'm looking at? Vic Fangio's snap distribution. You had Jalen Carter play 98% of the snaps. He missed one snap. Jordan Davis, who's been special this year, was only on the field for 29 snaps, 49% of them. Jalen Hunt, 28 snaps. You had two of your best defensive players this year, Hunt or Jalen Hunt and Davis, on the field for less than 49% of the plays. So Fangio failed at times. Everybody failed. Fairway to Heaven makes its season debut tonight. Yes, I'm excited. Season 6 of Fairway to Heaven tonight, 6 p.m. Breaking down the Sony Open and discussing the huge PGA Tour news. Brooks Koepka leaving LIV, back on the PGA Tour. It's costing him millions and millions of dollars, but he's back. We will talk about it all tonight, live, 6 p.m. right here. That's why you like, you subscribe, you turn on the notifications. Shady's always jealous of the Eagles. He never got the success. Phil, do Eagles have to resort to violent? Pelton fans, stop. Not trade AJ this offseason for less than a 1. Well, then he's staying on the team. Because with all the factors in play, AJ Brown is not worth more than a first round or a second round pick. Maybe a third round pick. You're sheltered if you think people don't curse these days. In fact, no, I know. But I'm saying cursing at people upsets them too easily. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, people are too sensitive, and if you get in their face and you yell and you scream and you cuss, they throw a hissy fit and purposely drop balls. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Lock the season. Maybe Hurts has areas of improvement. Maybe. LaShawn McCoy is a failing sports show that needs publicity. Best way to get publicity. Yeah, look. It's literally in the rule book of Sports Media 101. Criticize Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, and people will click on it. Right? I wasn't going to bring up LaShawn McCoy today. You guys did. Because he said something stupid and clicky, and everybody's buying into it and talking about it. Phillips and Hunt We're milk carton Sunday. That's concerning. Well, Hunt or Phillips played a lot of snaps. Hunt only played 42% of the snaps, Chuck. Who was running the rotation there? How could Jalen Hunt only have 42% of the snaps? We have a center in the wings that seems to be good in what we were able to see of him. Jurgens might need to be moved back to guard. I said it the day we moved him from guard that might be a mistake. If AJ was truly that bad, teammates would not have made him a captain. I believe in that wholeheartedly, 1,000%. Moving on to Sony Open. Who you got? I got a lot of bets this week. I got a lot of things posted, but my favorite bet, I want to make sure I get the odds right here on this one. Nico Echeverria, 50-1 to win the Sony Open. Love it. Close second is Rico Hoy at 45-1. They're my favorite two plays and bets this week for the Sony Open, but we'll get into the details tonight, live, 6 p.m. right here on the channel. What do we got here? Shady is used to a complex Andy Reid offense. Nothing more, nothing less. JT is absolutely ridiculous to wait this long to sign. Teams are ridiculous for making him wait this long. Everyone needs to understand that Jalen doesn't want to run as much. This isn't just a coaching decision. I mean, that's, again, speculation that Jalen Hurts tried to throw water on that fire. Just saying, maybe the offense just wasn't being called that way. Maybe he didn't want to run because he knew the offensive line was horse crap this year, and he didn't want to get killed. I know your opinion on Sirianni, and I get it. And I think you're warranted today and yesterday and tomorrow to feel that way. But he isn't going anywhere. I agree. Anyone that wants Sirianni fired is an imbecile. I really, really think that. I think, K1, you're spot on. I'm going to make that a clip. You're spot on. No doubt about it. Nick Sirianni is the winningest coach in Eagles history. The only coach to take us to 2 Super Bowls. Only the second coach to win a Super Bowl. The greatest era of Eagles football under Nick Sirianni. Under Nick Sirianni's watch, with Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. Nick knows his place in the corporate infrastructure and is a threat to no one. That is why he's still here, and he will continue to be here. Shady's an asshole. I take nothing he says serious. He just talks. No one said he had to be smart to be a podcaster. I know. Hey, you guys watch me, and I ain't smart. I don't know what. I'm dumb. I'm not smart. I know things. No. Exactly. Agree with you here. It's Phil's fault. AJ sucked on Sunday. No, did he? He saw Phil on vacation in Orlando and immediately booked. Oh, my bad. When I get blamed for the Eagles' failures, it's normally because of the pizza shop. Kind of surprised I'm getting blamed for going to Florida now for it. Wait till I go to Florida again. How dare you thou criticize someone? Oh, yeah. Fan base totally blows at being able to credit the opposition. The better coached team won, period. Absolutely. We got beat. They recognized our weaknesses and he took advantage of them. I don't think anybody is taking credit away from the 49ers, Nooms. I don't, okay? We just are frustrated that our own people didn't do a better job to adjust, to pivot, to have a better game plan. Being out-coached is no different than being outplayed. We are frustrated that our guys got out-coached, got outplayed, got out-hustled. Yeah, Patullo leaves. Maybe AJ will be happy. What will be his cryptic tweet the day he gets fired? What's up, Mitchie Pooh? Good morning to you. Got to check out The Hunting Party on Peacock. Amazing show. I think you'll love it. I don't know if my Peacock still works or not. I'll have to log in and see. I think that password got changed. I got to hunt it down. I would laugh in their face if that's what I was called. Niners definitely have better coaching and a better quarterback. I don't know about better quarterback, okay? Look what they've done with all their injuries. But what they do have in a quarterback is an offensive game plan that sticks to his skill set, all right? Nick's been in the playoffs every year he has been here. Yeah, he isn't a fraud. I agree, Robert. I agree. AJ's been a problem for a while. The sweet taste of a championship only put him on borrowed time. The honeymoon's over, and he's got to go. It's just going to be a really pricey go. Really pricey go. You're a chump to drop that pass in your hands up. Yeah, twice. It's not Jalen's fault that he's like his parents did. Yeah, exactly. Look, let's stay on point here. Eagles fire KP. I hope so. Eagles keep A.J. Brown. I would like so. I think A.J. is way too much of a competitor to intentionally drop balls. How he felt after winning the Super Bowl says a lot about the kind of player he truly is. Yeah, look, that is, and I don't mean this in a rude way, Kevin, so I'm prefacing this. I think that's a naive way to think about it, okay? I do. I would like to think that A.J. Brown is too much of a competitor to do that, right? I want to think like you. I used to think like you. But I realize in this world, messages get sent in weird ways, in inappropriate ways. I don't know. Maybe I'm being naive for thinking that he would purposely do it. No, I'm not saying you're naive for believing that, but I think stuff like this happens a lot more than you realize. They took advantage of Quinion still developing abilities. He still has a few issues. Transitioning out of certain route concepts. Trust me, guys, no one's perfect. Look, he took 2 hits, but he came back and made 2 plays. He did his part to make up for his mistakes, right? And we got what? 3 points out of his 2 interceptions? Clearly, 2 interceptions, everyone's praising him. But I'd argue that Quinion Mitchell had his worst game as a pro. Calls for Sirianni's firing is bonkers. Yeah, he looks like a goofball sometimes, but never missed the playoffs. Hasn't won less than 11 games in 4 years, and 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win. Exactly. Have you heard from your brother? No, haven't heard from him. I saw him Saturday night, and he said he didn't care. He was too busy to care about football right now. See, again, Fugazi fan he is. Clearly, Sirianni is doing something right, and we're only a year removed from a Super Bowl at this point. We haven't reached the point with him where all he's doing is winning. Look, if John Harbaugh can keep his job for 18 years, winning 1 Super Bowl, I think Nick Sirianni can keep his job for 1 more year after winning a Super Bowl. Is anyone surprised that Shanny outcoached Nick? Only Sirianni fanboys. How about Shanny outcoaching Vic Fangio? If you're going to say he outcoached Nicky Boy, he also outcoached the guy directly tasked with stopping his offense. And Vic Fangio got outcoached. Wait a minute, Phil. You can't use that for Purdy because pretty much that means Hurts doesn't have a skill. Well, the offense would be tailored to that, no matter who the OC. So I don't like that narrative. What? That you tailor your offense to what your quarterback skill set is. We've seen good Jalen Hurts. We've seen MVP level Hurts. Hell, the most MVP level Hurts was actually in 23 through the first 11 weeks. Tailor an offense to a skill set. You're being naive, Phil. Time to call that out. What am I being naive about? Any coach would go to the playoffs yearly with this franchise. It's nonsensical to worship the guy like a lot of the fan base does. It was so easy to do. Anybody could do it. There have been plenty of talented teams not make the playoffs in all sports. All right? I don't need to imagine it. Purdy wouldn't succeed in this system if you know football and his skill set. Probably not. Wow, did I just catch up? All right, yesterday it took till the hour mark. Today I caught up in 43 and a half minutes. Not too bad, okay? So, guys, that's a perfect time to reset the show here. Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network. Quick check online. No new subscribers. Still sitting at 970. We got 18 likes on the video. 25 votes on the poll. Are the Eagles in a better or worse position entering the offseason than the 2023 offseason? Better spot, 52% of the vote. Worst spot, 48% of the vote. That is where we're at right now. Okay, but guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop your comments. If you're watching this on replay or if you're watching this on a clip or something like that, make sure you comment below. I don't know if Vic was outcoached. It was pretty much punch for punch. They kept San Francisco offense 23 points, which is pretty good considering they put up like 30 in like 3 of the last 5 games. They came out and caught Vic Fangio's defense flat-footed. Most importantly, Quinion Mitchell, right? Zach Bond didn't play well. He was out of position. Reed Blankenship. There were definitely issues on the defense on Sunday. Obviously, the offense is the big problem. Obviously, the offense is what everyone wants to complain about. But the defense wasn't good enough. Okay? You want to be called an elite, all-time great defense, well, you got to win the game. Okay? Plain and simple. What's the system? Nobody knows what the system is. And that's the problem. Vic Fangio, not Vic Fangio, Kevin Patullo still hasn't shown us what the system was they were running. And the season's over. 18 games. We don't know what the system is. That's on your offense coordinator's game plan. Maybe, yes, a little bit on Nick Sirianni, since he's so heavily influential, supposedly, in what happens. That's why you need an experienced offense coordinator, experienced play caller. That's why you need those things. Because here we are, after 18 games, we don't know what the system is. And if we don't know, the players probably don't know either. Brianna, I agree. Eagles will be right back to contenders, maybe back-to-back-to-back NFC East champions. We'll be right here, same spot next year. Maybe talking wins, maybe talking losses. Who knows? You can stick Butters in that Eagles quarterback position. He'd do good. Butters? No. Are you more for trading AJ or more for keeping him? It's such a tough one, Kevin. I'm probably more in the camp of keeping him. Okay? I would probably say it's 52-48, like the poll question right now, on where I stand. Because I do think he does create some unnecessary drama. But on the flip side, I realize that he is one of the 5 or 6 best wide receivers in football when healthy and when focused, when not dropping passes. Okay? Replacing, getting a first or not getting a first isn't why I would lean towards keeping him. Well, I don't want to trade him because we're not getting a first. No. I wouldn't want to trade him because I remember Nelson Aguilar is our top wide receiver. I remember Greg Ward. I remember Travis Fulgham. I remember James Thrash and Todd Stinkston. I remember the revolving door of subpar wide receivers here. And yes, Devontae Smith is a great wide receiver as well. Easily could be the number 1 here. But Devontae Smith as the 1 with James Thrash as the 2 doesn't make Devontae Smith better. So I lean towards keeping him. But I know why people want him gone, and I understand why they want him gone. Cheaper to keep. Look, I agree. Hoping AJ, most of everything else is more replaceable. I'm keeping AJ. Most of everything else is more replaceable. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Replacing an all-pro level, elite, top-end wide receiver is not easy to do. Not easy at all. Trading AJ would cost us an arm and a leg financially. It would cost us an arm and a leg offensive weapon speaking. Patullo is like an old Amco commercial of the janitor saying, hey, boss, let me work on that transmission. I always wanted to work on a transmission. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great, analogies to what Kevin Patullo is, and I get it. And look, I don't want them to wait, okay? They got to get rid of him sooner rather than later. They got to find the next guy now before all the good next guys are taken, right? So it's time. Make the move, get it done. And if the move fails, whatever the next move is, then we can have the Nick Sirianni conversation. The red zone math completely changes with Purdy, and it wouldn't be pretty. But speaking of red zone, I mean, on the positive side, offensively speaking, the Eagles' offense was special this year in the red zone. They scored a very, very high percentage of the times they were in the red zone this year. So that's a good thing right there. So there was some positive there, right? But if Jalen has a system, then it should have been tailored to him, whether KP sucks or not. And you don't get to the NFL without knowing that. Hurts, and it should be the system. So, should. But KP, you don't get to the NFL without knowing that. KP has been in the NFL for almost 20 years as a coach of some form. Nobody came close to wanting to give Kevin Patullo a shot over the last 20 years for a reason. It took, to use Duck's words, the Nepo buddy to get him the job. Whether it was the right decision or not, it was obviously not. Why they did it, whatever. But it's a little different because KP somehow survived in the NFL on relationships, not ability. FredX was a bad one, of course. Yeah, Nelly. Look, I'm a Nelson Aguilar guy. He gets an unnecessary amount of crap. I mean, he made some big plays in 2017. So you know what? I will always have love and respect for him. If Sirianni were to get fired, who would you want? I don't want to even think about it because he's not getting fired. Okay? So I'm not thinking about who should replace him because he's not going to get fired, okay? I don't want him to get fired. He's not going to get fired. So why should I entertain? No offense, Adam. Why should I entertain who should replace him? Don't forget the people's champ, FredX. You can never replace it. First down. Yeah, you got. I was trying to remember. I could. If you heard me stumbling when I made that wide receiver comment, I was trying to say J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I couldn't get the words out of my mouth. I'm not bitching. I'm just asking because I'm trying to wrap my head around this and come to a conclusion. It shouldn't have been this hard, but yet it was. So why was it, and how does it not happen again? Absolutely agree. I think we all are on the same page there in this phrasing of the comment, AK. All right? We're all on this here, okay? Why did it happen? Now, again, Nick Sirianni promoted his friend. Not the right decision. But again, I will lean towards the other aspect. We won the Super Bowl. We were late getting a head start on replacing Kellen Moore. Maybe the options had dried up. I don't know who's still available after the Super Bowl last year. That's why you act now in firing him and replacing him while all the candidates are still available. You can get the pick of the litter if you fire KP and hire your OC first. Get it done. Purdy thrives on optionality and route precision. Only one wide receiver here fits that skill set, Smith. Built, tailoring a team around your quarterback. Built to run, but we're injured into pass blocking better than run blocking. No quarterback would have taken this team to the Super Bowl this year with this line. I agree. I think we fundamentally agree on the importance of an offensive line, health, and performance on offensively in general succeeding. Would take a bald gerbil over Nick Sirianni. That's some deep-level hatred right there. Owen was pretty good in pass protection. A Matt Stafford type who could stand in the pocket and make timing throws between the numbers. Well, when you're running the same play over and over again and over and over again and over and over again, and the defense can put a blindfold on and know where the ball's going to go. I don't care if it's Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, or Tom Brady. Defenses were still going to pick us apart because of the predictability of the calls. You ever see not? Of course I can. I would take that foot and peg. Whenever I think of Not Another Team movie, I think of the guy getting ripped in half in the Dream segment. Yeah, it's a great movie. Great, stupid comedy. Not with Patullo calling plays. Exactly, and that's what I just said. I feel we'll be better next year, says Bruce, because you can get a new OC and some players, and also I feel we can learn from the problems. Well, let's hope they learn from the problems in 23 and how they fixed 23 to 24. And if they did, then 25 can lead into a great 26, Bruce. It all starts with picking the right person at OC, right? Who the offensive coordinator should be in 2026 can't be Nick Sirianni's decision, right? But it also can't be Howie Roseman's decision. It can't be Jeffrey Lurie's decision. It can't be Jalen Hurts' decision. It can't be A.J. Brown's decision. It's got to be a cumulative effort between Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, and Jalen Hurts. What do we need to survive or thrive? What do we need to thrive as an offense? What kind of offense will work the best. Jalen Hurts says his piece. Nick Sirianni says his piece. And Howie Roseman's got to go out and find a guy that best fits what Jalen Hurts does best. And you've got to start that process right now. To be honest, I don't know if there are many coaches that would scheme around having the worst, albeit injured center in football, an absent Hall of Fame tackle, underperforming left tackle. I mean, it really, if you go across the offensive line, Jordan Mailata underperformed this year. Maybe was a little banged up from last year still. Landon Dickerson, hurt all year. I actually got a quote from him. He was asked if he ever feels he'll be healthy and fully recovered from his injuries again. And his answer was, I quote, "If I had an answer, I'd feel better." Landon Dickerson, problem. Cam Jurgens, worst graded center in football. Right guard. Didn't do as good in run blocking, did okay pass blocking, first-year starter. And your Hall of Fame tackle missed 9 games, 50% of the games this year. Talk about it. I am so concerned. I know we're concerned about Cam Jurgens, but Landon Dickerson's comments that I listened to yesterday scare the living hell out of me, okay? And maybe he won't be around much longer. Y'all got to stop being so hard on this O-line for all the injuries that we accumulated this year. We were top 10 in both pass and run when it comes to blocking, so our O-line did pretty damn good. If you're using PFF stats, and I don't believe them, but look, my eye test says they weren't good, okay? I don't need analytic numbers to tell me whether an offensive line is good or bad, whether a running back is good or bad. My eyes tell me the offensive line was bad this year. I die laughing when Jake punches the bag. Yeah. Not another teen movie. I love it. I feel Howie is the best, and he will fix it. Look, he is the best GM in football, one of the best GMs in football, arguably. Yeah, I agree. Guys, we've crossed the 30 concurrent viewer mark multiple times here in the last 10 minutes. There are not 30 likes. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Share this out and vote on our poll question of the day, guys. And drop your comments. There's about 10 people commenting, but 29 people watching right now. Any thoughts, you can comment. Howie's the best, and he will fix it. I hope so. It's chicken and egg. The offense has been designed around Hurts' strengths and limitations. It wasn't this year. We've seen what Andy Reid even looks like in 2 Super Bowls with an F-O line situation. I hate to see this. Look, I agree. Jane's got a cut, yeah. Hold on, back. But don't be shocked if they run it back with. I would not be shocked. I'm at the 1% level, but it would not shock me if they tried to run it back. I'm excited about the Phillies this year. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Bo Bichette news or JT news. Without Howie, the Eagles are still ringless, in my opinion. I agree on that 100%. Howie is directly linked to getting us that ring, 2 rings. I don't think Patullo is competent to schedule and sequence an offensive plays. Yeah, no. He's got to go. Do I think it would have made a difference? If he's as hurt as he claimed he was? No. But if he was healthy, absolutely it would have made a difference. Think Mike Tomlin gets fired soon? I don't know. They really didn't play well last night, but I'm box score, highlight reel watching. There's a chance that they move on from him, but maybe. It depends on the whole Aaron Rodgers situation as well. Your opinion is your opinion. That's cool. I know that. They didn't look as good as last year, but like I said, for everything that we've went through, they did pretty damn good. You can be as negative as you. I'm not being negative. Me saying they were injured is not negative, in my opinion. It's a fact. They were injured. I just said they pass blocked well. Mike Tomlin don't know future yet. Not saying Patullo is competent, but there are always tons of throws Hurts won't make to wide open receivers. We saw it again on Sunday. I think Tomlin will end up resigning to keep him from being fired and go right to TV. Yeah, maybe. They need to learn from the 49ers. The coaching and system overcomes injuries and talent. That's a great point. Learn from the team that knocked you out. Their culture and system. We don't get a lot of injured players, so we don't know how to overcome them because we don't ever get hurt. I see what we get. We're built for it. Campus swept Flyers. Hey, we gained another subscriber. Now only 29 away from 1,000. Guys, like, subscribe, share. It ain't hard to do. It's free to do. That Texans defense, I said it, defense was going to be the story. And defense is going to be the story of the playoffs. I wouldn't want to face the Texans in the playoffs with that defense. Their medical experts really need to make decision on Lane. Look, Big Al, Lane Johnson said he wanted to play one more year, right? After this. He said he was going to play 2 more years at least. That was this year and next year. But let's be honest. He was hurt right from the get-go. Missed 9 straight games to close the season. Was in and out of games when he was playing. Did his body finally hit a wall? Does Lane Johnson need to retire? Do the Eagles got to tell him to retire? Losing Lane Johnson right now without his replacement would be a big deal. And maybe he says, well, I'll give it 1 more year to help you develop the next guy. But between Lane Johnson and what Landon Dickerson said and what Cam Jurgens showed on the field, the Eagles' offensive line is a scary, scary thought moving forward. Now, we got just Stoutland, so that should help. But it's still going to be very scary. Tomlin's tired with Chuck Noll for his career wins. No, he gets fired even though he hasn't won a playoff game in a decade. Well, John Harbaugh did, and he hadn't won much in the last decade or so. But, yeah, Mike Tomlin probably should go, but probably it'll be his decision. Tampa Bay, Tommy played well. Tampa Bay played well. Colorado, yep. No Flyers talk right now. Texans better or Broncos or Pats? I don't know. It's a tough one. One of those 3 teams will represent. I'll say the Texans or the Pats will be the Super Bowl team out of the AFC. May is going to be running for his life. Yeah. Best NFC. Bears? Bears or Seattle? Pats or Texans. They're your 4 teams, in my opinion. Yeah, PFF disqualifies everyone. I think PFF is the worst. They changed their narrative. They changed their formulas so that the formulas spit out what fits their narrative. I really, truly believe that. Shout out to Brock Purdy for throwing 2 interceptions to our young cornerback. He needs a confidence boost because he couldn't catch cold. Yeah, look. All Quinion Mitchell does is catch interceptions in the playoffs. Best in the AFC, it's Pats or Texans, in my opinion. Wait a minute. We sit here and we can't fire a head coach because he's been in the playoffs 5 years straight. But you guys are waiting for Tomlin to get fired after 19 years win streak. I did not say I'm waiting for him to get fired. 19 years and not having won a Super Bowl in over a decade or more than that. It's been mediocrity in Pittsburgh for over a decade. Big difference. Mediocrity in a decade to mediocrity 1 year after winning a Super Bowl. Massive difference here, okay? And no one's waiting for him to fire. Honestly, most people could care less in this chat if he gets fired or not. But you're massively off base here. Wanting to fire a coach 1 year after winning a Super Bowl, but still winning his division, versus a guy that hasn't won a playoff game in a decade. Just saying. Which team NFC West makes Super Bowl? Yeah, it's basically what it is. I'm going to go Seattle or the Bears. It's wild. No, I think you're way off with your comparison there. Yeah, it's a bad take. Well, I'm telling you, it's totally 2 different things. It's apples and oranges, your take. Feel lost when it comes to the draft. Sucks to be in this position. Look, I'm no draft expert. Never claimed to be, never will be. I would not want to be Howie entering these playoffs, okay? Or this draft season, knowing that there is so many holes that need to be fixed on this team. So many holes that need top-end flight talent. Now, you've got a couple picks. You got, 4 picks in the first 3 rounds. You've got options, but you've got to hit on at least Howie's going to have to hit on 2 or 3 picks. Basically says all right there. You are correct. Absolutely. The first step to recovery is recognizing you have a problem. To be a thumb thug dog. People get too offended when their opinions aren't agreed with, guys. Don't get offended when nobody agrees with your opinion. I have a crazy feeling the Niners are going to stop the Seahawks. Interesting. I haven't really thought they had a chance. I have to go back and look at their games earlier this year against their division rival and what they looked like, do a little preparation for Friday. Is McDaniels somebody you'd want here as an OC? No. Mike McDaniels? No. I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. I don't want Mike McDaniels. He's a weasel. He's a clown. His personality would clash in that locker room. His personality would clash with the fans. I do not like Mike McDaniels. Plus, on the flip side, he's going to get a head coaching job, okay? Unless he doesn't want it. A, he'll be a head coach. B, he's a weasel, okay? You think Nick Sirianni and A.J. Brown fight? My God, Mike McDaniels and him would fight. I mean, we are the best example of overcoming injuries to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. I will say in Nick Sirianni's defense that it's really hard to go back-to-back. With that said, he still has his belly button pierced and his playbook cover. Look, it is very hard to go back-to-back, and that's a big part of it. Just need to do the surgery now for Lane. He tried. It didn't work. Yeah, just get him fixed. How long would it be his recovery? Would he be back for training camp? As long as he's back for the start of the season, if he's healthy, that's fine. Could probably get a second. I would think the best you're going to get is a back-end second-round pick with all the circumstances combined on him. Maybe a top-end third-round pick. Late second, early third. That's what you're getting for A.J. Brown at this point. Maybe you get the Patriots' end of the second-round pick, but you got to eat the salary cap thing too. It's still winning, dude, and he's still winning with broken-ass quarterbacks for the last 5 years. You call mediocrity, I call impressive. Get him an actual quarterback, and he might win another Super Bowl. That's fair, and that's fine, and that's okay. But at some point, a coach runs its course. He's been there for 18 years. He's got one Super Bowl a really long time ago. And yes, they've made some mistakes drafting Kenny Pickett in the first round. What was that other quarterback? Corral? I remember him for some reason. Aaron Rodgers at 65 years old. Hey, next year they're going to roll out Neil McDonald out there. I get it. His quarterback situation hasn't been great. Just saying. Not saying I want to fire Nick. I was just saying Nick is an example. I didn't say you said he was firing him. I'm saying that example is off base because there's two totally different situations. One hasn't won a playoff game in a decade. The other just won a Super Bowl and made it back to the playoffs, okay? Big difference. Who do you pick to win the NCAA college football? Yeah, I mean, I picked Indiana. As soon as I watched my first Indiana game of the year, which was against Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship, I've been saying Indiana is running the table, no doubt about it. McDaniel's the same motherfucker we got now. Look, I don't know if he is or isn't, but he's not the guy I want anywhere in my organization. What's the definition of insanity again? The specific definition I don't know. But to me, the distance between insanity and genius is measured by success. When you fail, you're an insane. And they say the difference is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I saw someone prove online that that's a false statement. I forget why. Can Hurts handle an intricate offense, in your opinion? If the intricate offense fits his skill set, then absolutely. You don't need an intricate offense, A, to win a Super Bowl. B, as long as it fits what he's capable of doing, who cares? Yeah, he can do it. You have this preconceived thing that you're trying to get me to say something about Jalen Hurts that'll then be a follow-up. Well, Tanner McKee can do it better. Or you got to move on from Hurts. Sorry. Jalen Hurts is perfectly proven capable to win this team and the city Super Bowls. He can do it. Okay? If you have an offensive coordinator that caters an offense to what he wants to do and what he's capable of doing. Okay? This intricate offense thing is the biggest nonsense in the world. Yeah. Sounds good. We got 68 for Reddick. We could probably get a high second for Brown. It's a fair point. And Reddick had some drama too. And the drama had carried around from place to place with Reddick too. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. 25 likes. Slowly climbing the charts today. The Rooneys and the Maras have traditionally overvalued stability. So K1's comment is coming from a pretty solid foundation. Yep. I didn't disagree with it. Pittsburgh would probably give us their first for McKay, but would rather trade them Hurts. And you're ridiculously silly for thinking that. Okay? If you had the option to trade a known commodity that's won a Super Bowl or the unknown commodity that hasn't won jack shit, you'd rather trade the known commodity. It's nonsense. I know you don't need people to agree. And just don't. I don't think anybody's being asshole. I think you're being offended that, no offense, I think you're offended when people don't agree with you. You don't debate. You just say, oh, well, whatever. I don't watch a lot of college football. I don't. I do not watch college football much, okay? I did watch the Indiana-Ohio State game, and I watched 20, 30 minutes here or there of college football playoffs, and that's it. Did y'all pay attention to Rogers' face last night? I did not. Said I watched early in the show. I was Netflixing with the wife last night instead. Who would win a fist fight between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown? When I played football, my teammates fought in the locker room regularly. I don't care who would win in a fist fight. There's no reason for there to be a fist fight in the locker room. If there is, then we got bigger problems, okay? A.J., because he would throw first punch, probably would. And Jalen Hurts would turn the other cheek. The offense was a bigger problem than the defense. It absolutely was. I know your love for Hurts. It's not love. It's pure fact. It's pure fact. One's a proven winner. One is one jack shit. And you want to move on to the one that's one jack shit. And it's stupid, okay? It's nonsense. First, I thought the same about Mike McDaniels, but let's repel. What? Opposites often say Mike McDaniels may not be a bad idea. Give it more thought. Look, first and foremost, Mike McDaniel might not want to come here just because of Vic Fangio alone. So let's ignore the fact that McDaniels and Vic Fangio did not get along working together. Okay? Yeah, McDaniels was his boss. Vic was an underling, but whatever. Let's put that aside because Desai and Patricia worked here with Desai and Darius Slay, and future things could be mended. Whatever. McDaniels' personality would clash every time when he calls a play. You're worried about, if you're worried about A.J. Brown tanking plays or Jalen Hurts not happy with play calling from Patullo, and they barely argue with Patullo. Mike McDaniel's personality and the stubbornness of him not wanting to change. There's talent in Miami. And they couldn't do nothing. McDaniels, no. The city would have fired if we didn't riot in 12. Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah. I think this intricate offense thing is just silly, okay? Yeah, I mean, look, shout out to the standing applause from Toronto for Kyle Lowry last night. Getting a minute on the court at the end of the game to get that standing O. Classy city there, Toronto. McDaniel would make an exceptional OC here. More with McKee than Hurts, but because you can see, you got a crystal ball. You can see in the future. Sixers are the real deal. They are. No, I don't think. I think he just disagrees. And you also get upset when people don't agree with you. If they can get McKing going, they really could compete with OKC. I'm not putting them on OKC and San Antonio's level yet. I'm not. But at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if they get to at least the second round. Maybe further. Reich should be the OC, probably. It's the smart, safe choice, in my opinion. Now, I haven't even done a deep dive on who should be the OC. Reich, to me, is the obvious safe answer. Now, I'm going to, if I have free time this week, I'm going to sit down and really read up on like 5, 10 different names. See which one I think would fit best. But we'll see. Because Shady just talks. Shady McCoy is just trying to get clicks, views for his struggling programs and podcasts and TV shows. Shady loves to hear his own voice. Shady's the same guy that said if XYZ didn't happen, he would take his name out of the Eagles Wall of Fame. And everybody got all upset and up in arms about that. Shady knows what he's doing. It's easy to beat A.J. Brown in a fight. Just pull his long braids and Muay Thai his knee his head. Isn't that like cheating? That's what I'm best at, cheating. Who you upset at for disagreeing with you? Look, I'm not upset. I'm confident in my takes. I'm confident my takes are right. I'm confident my opinions are right. And when my opinions are not right, people have been able to sway me. You have not given me one shred of evidence or point that would even slightly sway me that Tanner McKee would make the Eagles a better quarterback or a better team at quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Not one sliver of thing you've ever said has made any ounce of sense, okay? In my opinion, I've been known online to be a flip-flopper because my opinion can be swayed. You haven't done an ounce of shit to sway me. We get the younger J.O. brother act. What? Imagine a Reich and Gruden offense. Gruden, no. Prudence could handle A.J. like he handled Ricky Waters. What? To call for Sirianni's expulsion is insane. But yeah, exactly, Robert. I thought that was Robert. Vasok, exactly. Exactly. I don't have feelings. I'm not in touch with my emotions. A lot of people think I'm an asshole, too. A lot of people ask me, when I'm being an asshole, which is pretty much all the time, why am I smiling? I'm like, because I might be an asshole, but I'm enjoying myself right now. Sometimes being the asshole is fun. I do not want to sway you. I'm just here to bring balance to the force. Well, no, if you have an opinion that differs, you got to make a point that supports your opinion. You're not balancing it when you don't have any actual evidence or real logical reasoning and thinking for your opinion. That doesn't balance the force. She might be right, and everybody's right that I'm an asshole. I am an asshole. We're the assholes. It's okay. Make a t-shirt. I'm an asshole, and that's okay. Heck, that probably already exists. Yeah, if I do it with love, yeah. I always tell people, I'm smiling when I'm an asshole because, you know what? You probably deserved it. B, if you don't laugh at my jokes, I don't care as long as I laugh at my own jokes. Everything I do is about me. I'm so self-centered and so self-absorbed, You just be on the spectrum. More people are. I probably am, honestly. Wouldn't doubt that. I use the force, so to you. No, sorry. That was really bad. That was really cheesy. Oh, all right, where are we at here? Poll question, 30 votes, 57% say we were in a better spot than 2023. 43% say we're in a worse spot than 2023. Smiling while being an asshole makes you the asshole I love. I'm an asshole, and I don't care. Exactly. Just being realistic with myself. Just like we all got to be realistic with the Eagles. All right? I'm realistic that I'm an asshole. Asshole is synonymous with real. It's true. It's a good point. Everybody is an asshole. Some are more caping than others. That is true as well. All right. So we got 10, 15, however long we want to go here. Obviously, there's lots going on with the Eagles. Obviously. All right. And I forgot to do it. I'm just looking at my notes here. I was going to transition to the Phillies and Sixers a little bit more, but I did want to pick out one more thing about Jalen Hurts and Kevin Patullo here that I just saw in my notes. We talked about Landon Dickerson's comments, but the other thing when we're looking at Kevin Patullo is what was said about Kevin Patullo about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, like everybody was asked things yesterday, right? Jalen Hurts was asked about A.J. Brown. Oh, look, we talked. We're fine. We're in a great place. Whether it's a lie or not, whatever. He spun it in a positive way. When he was directly asked, should there be a change at the OC position with Kevin Patullo in the offseason, Jalen Hurts' words were, that's not my decision. Why don't you ask Nick or Howie that question? That's not a really resounding vote of support from your quarterback. That's the quarterback saying what all the other subtle comments have been all year as openly as possible. Just want to throw that quote out there. I think a lot of y'all couldn't handle the sports talk at my bar. No, I mean, I don't think you can handle people that disagree. Why the fuck ain't Patullo? I don't know. Bando, I don't know why he's not fired. Because I believe it's very important that the decision gets made quicker while all the candidates are still available. So you're not left with the scrap heap. Fire him now. Get your interview started this afternoon. Have your OC picked by Wednesday or Thursday so Howie can start playing in the offseason. Get it done. And Train the AM, we all might our assholes. Yeah, pretty much. X is down. Be what? Who cares? What did Landon say? I went over it earlier. Landon Dickerson was asked on if he will ever fully recover or ever be healthy again fully from his injuries dating back from college through the pros. And he said, if I had an answer for you, I'd feel a lot better. Quote. Okay? Basically saying that the rest of his career, he will be playing injured to some level. There's only one chat, okay? Why couldn't we handle sports talking at bar? Do you guys, yeah. Disagreement. Off with his head, right? Seriously. Like there's going to be guillotines outside if you don't. Light our farts on fire. I knew what you meant. What's up, Jesse? How you doing? He's got to be gone. McDaniels is great OC, but he'll probably get head coaching. Look, all the top people want him, McDaniels, Cliff Kingsbury, John Harbaugh, which he's not even an OC coach, but whatever. Stefanski. All those guys are going to get head coaching opportunities if they want them, just so you know. You got to go pounce on the dude from the Ravens. You got to go pounce on somebody, Frank Reich, before he gets scooped up. Someone's going to be a head coach and hire Frank Reich to be their OC. You got to scoop these guys up. Brian Dable will be an OC very quickly for one of the new head coaches. Scoop up who you want right now. Brian Dable, like Frank Reich, unpopular, but a good choice. They have worked together. I enjoy watching people disagree on the show. I sit on my phone with a giant smile. Hey, I sit on a giant smile, too. Because, you know what? Set record views yesterday. Might not be record views today, but we gained 2 more subscribers. The whole point of this is disagreeing and arguing and having fun. Some people get a little offended by it, but whatever. I need a favor. Is you X working? I have no idea if my X is working. Somebody just commented on X, so it's clearly working. Draft a new left guard. You're going to have to think about that. Left guard, right tackle, center. You've got more questions than answers on the offensive line. The offensive line might not just bounce back next year. Absolutely agree with you, Jesse. 1,000%. 1,000%. You sound angry? What? Have Lane Johnson draft who is going to replace him like what Jason Kelsey did. Well, they thought, I think they tried. Honestly, Mitchie Poo, and this goes back to a conversation I've had already before the season and throughout the season. I think they wanted to draft his replacement this year. I forget what the kid's name was, but there's 1 or 2 tackles that went in the first and second round, like literally 1 or 2 picks before the Eagles each time. And they really wanted those guys, okay? Connolly, was that one of the guys' names maybe? And I don't know how they did this year, but I think they wanted to. Howie Roseman misread the draft. Ended up with who he ended up with. So they will try again this year. The question is, will Lane Johnson even come back? Right? We're getting close to that point very quickly. Absolutely. Absolutely need to draft. Can't be drafting all these 6th-round guys and undrafted free agents. Try to ease up. Whatever. Lane's legs are done. I don't give a shit how much sugarcoating you do it. It's possible. It's very possible. Fred Johnson did okay, honestly, this year. Not bad, all things considered. He is a free agent. I doubt he returns again. Fred Johnson was better as the 6th guy in jumbo packages. But, yeah, he did serviceable. Josh Connolly went to the Commanders a couple picks before us. Yeah, that's right. I think there was a guy in the second round as well. Again, I'm not a draft expert. I'll bring the experts on for the draft. I won't do the draft stuff, okay? I mean, we'll do mock drafts for shits and giggles, but I'm no expert. I got all my bets made. I got room for one more, actually. Ready to build some lineups. 6 p.m. tonight. We will be doing Fairway to Heaven Season 6. I got to remember to send out the links to you guys. I wonder if Nick will cry when he's ordered to fire Patullo. He'll probably be like, he'll probably make Jeff Stoutland do it for him. Or I'll have Big Dom do it for him. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't evaluated the draft. I haven't read draft reports yet. I don't know who's available. Okay? Fred Johnson is going to want to try again, just like he tried last year and it didn't work. Fred Johnson's going to look for a multi-year commitment from a team to give him a spot as a tackle. And if he did good enough to fill in for Lane Johnson, maybe somebody does. I don't know. I don't know what his market is. But you can't move forward for the next 3 years with Fred Johnson as your guy. The Chiefs got that Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons was a name I thought there. So maybe that's what happened there. Maybe they should have traded up for Josh Simmons instead. See, good job, Jesse, on jogging the memory of the draft for me. Mitch's dream in Michigan versus Oregon hoops. Is that tonight? My sister-in-law's husband's an Oregon Ducks graduate, so I'll root Oregon tonight. I'll go quack for that. I think I'm a draft expert. Check out my draft analysis on my podcast. I listen to it all the time. 2 dogs, 1 bird. I don't know. I don't go deep into the draft until the season ends, and I'll start reading the reports over the next couple of weeks for sure. But they got to find some depth for the offensive line and some future pieces. Probably stream the game, yes. Going to put it in my community tab, I see. Gotcha. I don't know anything about that. He'll probably do it with a nice little note from My Little Pony notebook. Stop. Michigan going to win national title this year in hoops. That team is saying good. Why? How'd you get linked up with that network anyway? I got to ask you that. How come you don't have your own network? Anyway. Look, did we solve anything today? We didn't solve world peace. We didn't solve the hunger crisis in the world. We didn't solve whether Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni, A.J. Brown, who's to blame. But it did feel good to vent and bitch and moan again a little bit more, right? No clue. No clue. Hell, I didn't even know Ohio State lost in the college football playoffs until after they lost. Yeah, your sparkly personality. Oh, no, we got shit done. Did we get shit done? I don't know. I feel like this is a great conversation, a great show. We gained a few new subscribers. But I don't feel like yesterday I felt the show was therapeutic. Today's show was not therapeutic. And that's not because of the comments, not because of the shit talking. I don't know why today didn't make me feel better about the Eagles. It's not about solving anything. It's just people sitting around and giving a voice idea. Yeah, having my voices heard is good. Lane tried to rehab something that 75% of folks get surgery for. Yeah, dude isn't done. Talking shit is a healthy habit. It is a healthy habit. It's good to vent. It is absolutely good. And I enjoy everybody venting with me here. Indiana goes smoke Miami. I'm guessing it's Monday or Tuesday night next week. I don't even know. I really don't know. Since I'm not a college sports guy, I really can't answer that. They better effing smoke Miami. Here's some therapy. I'd say 28 teams will love the problems we have. I think it's a great comment, Jesse. And Jesse, if you're not, make sure you check out the YouTube page as well. Based off of your profile picture, I think you comment on YouTube sometimes too. But I greatly appreciate you checking out the YouTube page. Linked on Twitter if you have not yet. And click subscribe over there. Sadly, it's going to get worse before it gets better for our Eagles, but it will get better. It will get better. They're the Dallas Cowboys of college hoops. Who? Ohio State? The Ducks? Who? I don't know. Anyway, I guess it's time to wrap this up. Go get a little breakfast. Cut this show up in the shorts. Yeah, I think this is a great way to say it. I am in a weird place with this team too. Okay? I know they're great. I know they're talented. I know they have work to do to fix. I don't know how to fix it. I think it's got tough decisions in place. There's so much to think about with it. So we're in a weird place. And it sucks. Anyway, we're going to wrap this baby up today at the 90-minute mark. We'll be back tomorrow. Eagles check down later today. Fairway to Heaven, 6 p.m. tonight. Lots of content. If Bo Bichette signs, I'll do a video instantly on that as well, live, guys. So I'm prepped and ready to rock and roll. Potentially up to 3 more shows today on the channel. Definitely 2. Lots of content. Working on some guests coming up later this week and next week, guys. Phillies, Sixers, Eagles related. So, guys, make sure you're locked in, locked and loaded. Yeah, VJ can't shoot my ass. If VJ can't shoot, I can shoot. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up right there, guys. Back tomorrow. Maybe we'll lean into a little Sixers talk tomorrow. Maybe we'll move into Sixers a little bit more Phillies as well. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very excited for the Eagles to look and play very different. Agreed. Stream a Flyers game one day. Yeah, I'll work on that. Perhaps we overestimate the talent left over from the Super Bowl. It's possible. Thank you. Tell one, tell all, tell everybody. I need to hit that 1,000 mark sooner rather than later. If I ever joined your show, your internet would break. I don't know about that. But it's available. If you want to, maybe we'll work something out here. Cheers to you as well. Have a great one, everybody. Great day. Great chat. Everybody be good. We'll be back tomorrow live, 8 a.m. as we are Monday through Friday, guys. Go Birds still. And always, bubbles up.